Good afternoon again, everyone. Thank you so much for being here at MPT's Caregiving Expo. Whether you are a caregiver or not, I would invite you to tune in to Michelle's presentation here. We're going to do a little interactive writing workshop, and of course I'll let Michelle introduce herself and tell you all about it. But again, I want to thank you all so much for being here today and joining us for MPT's Caregiving Expo.
Am I on? Oh, you are. You can hear me. So, my name is Michelle Petties, as Hannah said, and I'm so excited to be here at this expo. And let me see this. How many in the room are caregivers? How many of you here are caregivers? So you are likely familiar with that famous Rosalind Carter quote, there are 4 kinds of people in the world: those who have been a caregiver, those who are a caregiver, those who will be a caregiver, right, and those who will need a caregiver. Anybody ever heard that? Okay, good. All right. So before I start talking about why I'm here, let me tell you just a little bit about who I am and why I'm here. I am standing here because for 40 years, I didn't know how to take care of myself. The name of this workshop and what we're going to be doing in a little while is called Nourishing the Nurturer. In my lifetime, I have gained and lost over 700 pounds. From the time I was 20 until the time I was 60, I would lose 30, gain 40, lose 40, gain 50, lose 50, gain 60, to the tune of 700 pounds. And you may wonder, why is it that somebody who's talking about weight loss, why are they talking about caregiving? Because what I want to do and what I plan to do while we're doing this time together is make the connection, because part of what I was doing on that journey of this lose 30, gain 40, lose 40, gain 50, had everything to do with emotional eating, emotional overeating. It had everything to do with stress. Caregivers in the room. Stress? Is that a real thing? Yeah. Emotional eating. Real thing? All right, so we can start to see seeing the lines come together. As I tell you this story, I wrote my book, Leaving Large: The Stories of a Food Addict. I wrote it during COVID. And I released it in 2021. But here's what happened in COVID when I wrote my book. I had just spent thousands of dollars on a book coach. I had spent thousands of dollars on an editor. We were in the midst of COVID. I was working here, as a matter of fact. I loved working here. I love working at MPT. I'd gone on vacation, and I came back from vacation, and my college roommate, my ride or die since 1976, called me, and I heard 6 words: blood clot, intensive care, emergency surgery. It was COVID. She was in Texas. I was in Maryland. When I heard those words, I knew I had to go. I knew I had to go. I didn't have any choice. There was nobody flying, right? Nobody in the airport. The cars in the parking lot. No cars in the parking lot. I called my boss here at MPT. I called my sweetie. I called the airline. I was on the next thing smoking to Texas because I knew I was going to be gone for a long time. And so what I want to do for just a moment, because I am a writer, I want to share with you the next part of the story of what happened when I got to Texas and stepped off that airplane. Is that okay with everybody? Good? Okay. We were 6 months into the pandemic when I got the call. B had been trying to reach me. I finally picked up and heard her say the words, intensive care, emergency surgery, blood clot. My mind froze. She needed me. I hung up the phone and booked a flight from Baltimore to Dallas. I called my sweetie, I called my job. I packed for what I knew might be a long stay. I had no idea what I was walking into, only that it would change both of us. One day I was in vacation mode. The next day I was a COVID caregiver. I arrived at her condo and stepped into a life I didn't recognize, hers or mine. Her body was fragile. Her confidence had shattered. She needed everything: hand-holding, help navigating the healthcare system, transportation, wound care, medical equipment, a safer bathroom, and emotional support. She needed someone to trust. To be a guest in someone's home as a caregiver requires great trust, said an anonymous source. It is truly an honor. That quote rings true for me because being with B was more than showing up. It was stepping into her vulnerability with tenderness and reverence. I wasn't just living in her home, I was living in her pain, her fear, and her hope. We were both tested. She doubted she'd ever travel again or enjoy the retirement she had imagined. She lost mobility and pieces of her independence. I lost my schedule, my routine, and some of my sense of control. I had to balance my commission-based job, the deadlines for my first book, and my desire to be everything she needed without losing myself in the process. I made one vow. I would not do for her what she could still do for herself. She was smart, capable, and determined, even if she was afraid. And I had to remind her and myself of that every step of the way. We created a rhythm. I spent 3 weeks in Arlington, where she lived, and then a week or two at home in Annapolis, and back again. I left clothes at her place, packed only my laptop, and built a second life there. I leaned on routine. I walked every morning. I wrote every day. My book, my journal, my prayers. That writing became my medicine. I didn't think of myself as a caregiver. I thought of myself as someone standing in the gap. But in hindsight, I was a caregiver. And I learned that showing up for someone else is only sustainable when you show up for yourself. Self-care saved me. It gave me the strength to keep giving. I nourished my body with food that fueled me. I protected my mind with fresh air and movement. I held space for grief, fear, exhaustion, and still found presence. What was probably the most stressful time in my life became one of the most transformative, because I wasn't just caring for her, I was caring for myself too. And that's what made it possible to love her fully during her darkest hour. Being present was my superpower. And presence, true presence, requires energy, awareness, and boundaries. That's why caregiver self-care isn't a luxury or an afterthought. It's the foundation. We don't get to choose when we'll be called to serve someone we love, but we can choose how we prepare. We can choose to walk, to write, to eat well, and to ask for help. We can choose to care for ourselves now, so when that call comes, we'll have something left to give. We'll have something left to give. How many are looking for something to give? Right? How many are looking for something to give? So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about why it is so important for the caregiver to care for themselves, right? So we're going to start with an affirmation that might feel a little funny. Repeat after me. I need to care for myself first. Can you say it like you mean it? I need to care for myself first. I need to care for myself first. How many of you found that hard to say? Anybody? Does everybody have that? Oh, y'all already know that part? Right? Because what do they say when you get on an airplane? That's right. Put the mask on the other person first. No. Huh? Oh, I switched it. Yeah, put the mask on yourself first. Right, thank you. Thank you. Put the mask on yourself first. Don't put the mask on the other person. That's what I missed. Right, don't put the mask on the other person first. Because what's the other saying that we hear? Serve from your overflow. Anybody heard that? Serve from your overflow. Or what's the flip? You cannot serve from an empty cup. So, and it's easy to kind of stand on stage here and say all these things, but you're like, but you don't understand. You don't understand all the things that are pulling at me, right? But I do. I do. But when you figure this piece out, when you figure this self-care piece out, when you truly believe that you need to pour into yourself to serve, it frees you. It gives you some freedom. It gives you some peace, right? It quite frankly gives you some energy. And what I want to tell you about the story that I read that really brings it home is that if my friend's situation had happened the year before or 2 years before, I wouldn't have been able to take care of her. I wouldn't have been able to take care of her because I didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't know how to take care of myself emotionally or physically. And so during the course of that would have been even more stress because I'm trying to help her and I can't help myself. I'm trying to figure out how to help myself. But if we start now, if you know how to nourish yourself, you have a routine, you lean into the rest, right? Lean in, because we live in a culture that doesn't want us to rest. Does not. Right? When we sleep, that's when we heal. Right? But how many of you have said or even heard, oh, all I need is 3 hours of sleep a night. All I need is 5 hours. I don't need, right? So when the 5 principles of health, sleep, help me, hydration, food, nutrition, nutrition, movement, yes. Anybody else? There's another one, mental support, mental health care. And this is just one black woman's opinion. I would venture to say that the mental health care is the most important. Right? I would venture to say that because guess what? Our bodies follow our brain. Our bodies follow our brain. We've got to do the mental self-care first. And no shade on, going to get a massage, going to get your nails done, all that. I think it's hygiene. Some people call it self-care, but I think it's hygiene. But when you do the mental work, it supports every other part of you. And here's what I mean about the mental work. There are 4 tools. There are four tools that I want you to think about. And I talked about them a bit in my story. Is writing. Who journals? Who journals? Okay, all right. So I want to go back a little bit and talk about my weight loss journey, because there's a parallel between this weight loss thing and the caregiver thing. All the years that I struggled and would lose weight and gain it back and lose and gain it back, I never wrote. I never kept a food log. I never kept a journal. I didn't do anything. All I did was say, what can I eat and how much of it can I have? That was like my line. And all the time that I just focused on that behavior, I always gained the weight back. We live in a world that speaks behavior, but we move based on belief. The world speaks behavior, we move based on belief. So if we are to shift, we have to change our beliefs. The way we change our beliefs is by what we know and what we learn. And who remembers being in the first grade, writing with those big fat pencils, learning your ABCs? Right? You're doing this every day. You're learning something new. You're learning something different. And so the writing becomes so important. And I'm not talking about just keeping a log, a food log, with the weight loss thing. I'm not even talking about keeping a journal, because the journal is just that's not important. Can't do it. That's just what happened. But when you write for your healing, what I call prescriptive writing, when you write for your healing, that's something completely different. Writing for your healing goes to some spaces and some places that other things can't touch, right? When you start asking yourself why, the why of the why of the why of the why, you start writing that. When you start writing the story you don't want to write, when you start putting that down on paper, that starts to make it real. And when you start to make it real, that's when you can start to heal. So this writing, while you're navigating your own self-care journey so you can care for others, that writing is critical. It's critical. Other thing, meditation. Meditation. Anybody know what meditation is? Anyway, let's hear. What you got? Yoga? Okay. Anybody else? Meditation? Yes, ma'am. Music? Okay. Anybody else? Meditation? Yes, ma'am. Unscripted? Scripture, meditating on scripture. Yes. Anybody else? Meditation. Praying? Okay. Anybody else? Meditation. Release.
Leaving everything behind. Thoughts, like lifestyle, and focusing on your breath and focusing on the present moment and not being divergent with your mind.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Yes. All right. So, as you've heard all these things about meditation, why do you think meditation is important? Okay. Anybody else? Why meditation important? Yes. Oh, I love all these answers. They're all so good. Oh, one more. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. All right, so meditation. I have a definition that I use for meditation. And I'm going to take off these bracelets because they're cute, but they're loud in the way. Meditation, exercise for your mind. Exercise for your mind. And the reason this meditation is so important, and the reason that exercise for your mind is so important is because everything starts there. Everything. I was just talking to someone like last week, and he was talking about Walter Cronkite. Anybody remember Walter Cronkite? Am I the only one here old enough to remember who he was? All right. And so for you younger folk, back in the day, Walter Cronkite was like the news anchor extraordinaire. He was one everybody watched. All right, dinner time on CBS. I had this conversation with this gentleman, and he said, when Walter Cronkite came on, he was one guy, one camera, delivering the news with one piece of paper. Somebody said focused thought. One guy, one camera. That's all we gave. We were able to give him single-minded focus. Now, when the news happens, we got stuff scrolling at the top. We got stuff scrolling at the bottom. We got 3 or 4 different, how many different camera angles? You got stuff on. All the stuff is happening. Focus. Overstimulation. Anxiety. Trying to process too much information. Right? So, back to this exercise to remind. So the reality is we can't control any of that. And being a caregiver, for those of you who are caregivers, will likely agree with me that when you're in that role, all sorts of stuff happens that you don't have any control over. All the time. I mean, that's life, but it feels more intense when you're caregiving. So you have all these things swirling around in your universe and in your world that you have no control over. But the only thing that you have control over is who? Yourself. And the way that you control yourself is through your mind, through your thoughts. And that leads us back to why meditation is so important. Because it strengthens our ability to control our thoughts. And our thoughts and our beliefs control our actions and everything else we do in this world and how we respond. And to have that skill, to have that practice, to be able to do that, you can find calm and control and power when everything else is out of control, because you know how to control your mind, you know how to control your thoughts. You can take yourself someplace else for a moment. Being a caregiver, sometimes, how many times do you just need a moment? You just need 15 minutes to collect yourself? That's all you need. Just let me process this for a moment. That work. That's self-care. Knowing how to, giving yourself permission to meditate. Giving yourself permission to write. Giving yourself permission to go inward to do these things that strengthen you to do the work that you need to do for your loved ones. Make sense? Everybody with me? All right. So, next tool, affirmation. Affirmations. Who uses affirmations? All right. Yeah, okay. So somebody share with me the affirmations that you use, please. Would anybody like to share an affirmation? Would you like to share, Hannah, one of your affirmations? Okay.
I like to use affirmations like, I am strong, I am capable, I am enough. Simple as that.
Beautiful. I am strong, I am capable, I am enough. Love that affirmation. Anybody else have anything about affirmation? Yes, ma'am. I am worthy of love and belonging. Love it, love it, love it. Anybody else got an affirmation? All right. Oh, yes, ma'am. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. All right. So, affirmations. Affirmations are very, very powerful tools if you know how to use them. So for, I don't know, probably 30 years, I did affirmations when I was trying to lose weight. I must have written 500 times, I weigh 135 pounds, I weigh 135 pounds. It didn't work. And I didn't understand it. So, affirmations. Affirmations. Have you ever heard the phrase, fake it till you make it? Anybody? So an affirmation is kind of like that. The affirmations are for the thing that you want, or the thing that you want to do, or the way that you want to feel that you don't currently feel. It's for something projected, if you will. So you have to act as if. Anybody heard that phrase? Act as if it's already, speak it into existence. Act like it's already happening. But there's a layer behind the affirmation that people don't always get. It's, first of all, it has to be positive. So I will not cry in front of people. That's really not an affirmation. I will not cry. I will not cry. I will not let them see me cry. I will not let them see. Not an affirmation, because it's negative, right? But we can flip it. We can flip it and make it positive. Can somebody share with me how they would flip that and make it positive? Yes, ma'am. I will. Okay, thank you. So, no, you're close. You're close. You're close, and here's why I say you're close. So the affirmation, you speak it in present tense, as if you already had it. So the affirmation is, I am joyful. Because if you say, I will be joyful, then that becomes the affirmation. And your affirmation becomes, I will be joyful. You will never be joyful because your affirmation is, I will be, that it's coming. Right? So you speak it, I am. Present tense, it's happening. I feel it now. I see it now. I taste it now. I am it right now in this moment. And the other layer to that is to feel it. See, that's the thing that I was missing. You've got to add the passion to it. You can't just say the words. You can't say the words and not believe it. When you say the words, you have to feel it. Yes, ma'am.
I move with ease. I've been saying that since September of 2023, and I confirmed yesterday that I will have successful right knee replacement surgery on September 17, 2025.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what. Oh man, I move with ease, and what happens when you start saying these affirmations, when you start speaking things into existence, when you start saying them over and over and over again, what you're doing and why the emotion is so important is that you are creating energy. Because we're all energy. I mean, you see it. I mean, we show up as these physical forms, but we are energy. And in speaking these affirmations into existence, you're creating energy around the thing that you want. And please, you can call me foo-foo, you can call me whatever you want to. But when you start speaking it into existence and acting as if it's true, the universe comes to support you and bring it into existence. Everything gets heightened around this thing. You notice what you didn't notice before because you've been talking about it all the time. Right? Positive, present tense. And you want to amp up your affirmation? Add another P to it. Purpose. I am joyful because. I am strong because. I am happy because. I did not what now? I'm not. So, let's work on that, right? Right? Because what does it mean not to give up? Okay. All right, so we got two things here. Going to be, which is future, we're present, right? So the affirmation, anybody can help me with the affirmation? I'm good right now, right? Right, I'm good in this moment, right? So that makes it present tense. That makes it in the moment, right? So you have it in the moment. Anybody else have a question? And it's, yes, ma'am.
What if you are feeling that you have failed in something and it needs to be better? At what point is this affirmation just denying the reality of the moment and still being healthy at the same time?
Yeah. Ooh. That's a good question. And you are not denying the reality of the moment. In fact, you can put the reality of the moment on the plate. You can say it. In this moment, while this is happening, I am. Right? In this moment, where there is confusion, where there is noise, I am calm and clear in my purpose. I am calm, and so what happens with the affirmations is that, see, the thing is, our brain, our brains will believe us when we tell it stuff, right? So the more we tell it, the more we tell our brain, I am calm and clear when this happens. I am calm and clear. And even though it might not happen the way you want it to happen in that moment, the more you say it, the more you practice it, the more you do it, the more it becomes true. But you have to say it first. You have to believe it first. Even though it doesn't look like in that moment how you expect it to look. No, no. It's absolutely, absolutely. And so here's the thing about here's the thing about what you just talked about, the grieving and the sadness. Is they are true and they are valid. There's grief is not a bad thing. Sadness is not a bad thing. And so we live in this culture, in this place where we aren't given the space and the permission to honor our emotions. Right? We're taught, oh, you're so emotional. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cry. I didn't mean to be emotional. I didn't mean to, right? But the reality of it is what we're feeling. What we're feeling is our truth, right? Emotions are just information. Emotions are just data, right? And so when we get the tools to honor the emotions, lean into the emotions, to know how to navigate them, not to be afraid of them, not to run from them, then we can come up with an affirmation. Then we can come up with an affirmation. So you can say, I am grieving the loss of. That's true. There's nothing wrong with it. But you can also say, I am grieving the loss of this person. But I am so grateful that we had this experience together. I am filled with gratitude, and that is truth, right? So when we're able to lean into something that we might have thought in the past was negative, right? Because that's, and it's only negative because people you don't know what to do with it, right? Because you think there's some pain attached to it that you can't survive. But once you realize that is not the truth, then you can shift. Make sense? Okay. Anybody else? All right, so we're talking about affirmations. We talked about I want to check my time because I can be long-winded, y'all. I know it's hard to believe. So we talked about the writing, we talked about the affirmations, we talked about the meditation. We have another, oh yes ma'am. Oh, yes ma'am, absolutely. Yes, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I am strong. You know, the Bible is a book of affirmations, quite frankly. It is. So we think about, you know, where we are and where we want to be, and think about that in the present tense. That's an affirmation. So we didn't talk about visualization. And so I don't know about y'all, but I grew up with a grandmother. Maybe you can tell I'm from the South, from the country. And I grew up with a grandmother who would say to me, "Oh, girl, will you just stop that daydreaming?" Anybody else? Anybody else got? Did anybody else get to stop the daydreaming? Y'all, daydreaming can be a superpower. It can be a superpower along with the meditation. So with the meditation, you are focusing on a single thought. You're focusing on your breath. You are getting calm, right? You are strengthening your mind through practice. Visualization is a little different. Visualization is when the imagination superpower kicks in. And these four things, the visualization, the affirmation, the meditation, and the writing, these four things, foundational in self-care, foundational in transforming your mind. And so what I have written a visualization for caregivers, and I would like to share it with you. And what we do with visualization, it allows you to paint a picture in your mind of how you want things to be, of what it is that you want to be. It's imagination. And the more you practice it, right? We think in pictures. The more you make it real. This is about bringing into your life what you want. Creating energy around the thing that you want, so it will show up. So visualization. And visualizations, much like with meditation, do require that you get calm. And I am going to, can I use this mic? Does this mic? Okay, I can use them both. Everybody hear me okay? Okay. So I wrote a visualization, especially for caregivers, because sometimes, as we said earlier, you just need a moment. And so right now, I want you just to get calm and concentrate on your breath. Right now, this space, this breath, is only for you. Let your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw. Uncross your legs. You've been holding so much for so long. But for the next 5 minutes, just let it go. This is your return. This is your reset. This is your breathing room. Keep your eyes closed. Feel the ground beneath you. Notice how it holds you effortlessly, like you belong. Now, imagine a doorway in front of you. A soft, golden light spills through the frame. You step into it. Gently, slowly. With each step, you breathe deeper. Inhale. This breath is mine. Exhale. This moment is enough. This breath is mine. This moment is enough. This breath is mine. This moment is enough. As you pass through the door, you leave behind the pressure, the perfectionism, the performance. You enter a space where you matter. Not as a role, not as a caregiver, but as a whole, breathing human being. In this space, picture yourself standing across from yourself. You are taller somehow, stronger, lighter. Your eyes are clear. Your spine is straight. And you walk with grace and know your own worth. This is you. Healed, whole, unburdened. You reach your hands forward. You no longer have to shrink to serve. You don't have to disappear to be loved. Let these words root inside you like a promise. You are allowed to be well. Now gently turn inward. Scan your body from crown to toes. Where are you holding tension? Where does your body whisper, please, not one more thing? Send your breath to that place. Inhale, creating space. Exhale, releasing what's stuck. Say quietly, I align with what brings peace. I am accountable to what brings me home to myself. Now, picture a quiet morning, a cup of tea, a cup of warm tea in your hands, steam curling upward toward your nose, soft light through the window, a thick journal open in your lap. You slept well. You dreamed deeply. You've woken with clarity. Let your senses soak in this moment. The simp, the scent, the stillness. This is not indulgence. This is repair. Breathe in. I pour into me. Breathe out. This is sacred. I pour into me. That is sacred. I pour into me. That is sacred. Now picture a clear glass wall in front of you. On the other side is everything that drains you. The guilt, the overgiving, the silent resentment, the urgent task, the invisible labor. One by one, you press your palm to the glass and say, no, no, no. And behind you, a garden begins to bloom. You are saying yes to breath, to space, to rest, to you. Say it again, softly but firmly. No is the new yes. No is the new yes. No is the new yes. Now step into a mirror made of light. It shows you not your flaws, but your truth. Ask yourself gently, what do I need right now? Emotionally, spiritually, physically. Pause. Wait. Listen. Maybe it's a boundary. Maybe it's a nap. Maybe it's permission to not be okay. Whatever it is, receive it. No fixing, no justifying, just honor it. Say, I hear myself. I honor what I need. I hear myself. I honor what I need. I hear myself. I honor what I need. Now see your reflection soften. Light gathers around your heart. Warm, radiant, golden. This is your worth. It is not something you earn. It is not something someone else grants. It is in your breath, your presence, your being. Stand in this light. Say it aloud with conviction. I am not just surviving. I am becoming, and I am worth it. I am not just surviving. I am becoming, and I am worth it. I am not just surviving. I am becoming, and I am worth it. Take one more deep breath. One more moment in your body without shame. One more heartbeat where you are not giving, just being. I want you to gently open your eyes. Good to see y'all. Welcome back. You don't need to feel food to feel full. You don't need guilt to feel love. You don't need to give it all away to prove anything. You are brand new, and you can return to this place anytime. I promise, I said this was going to be interactive. Here comes the interactive part. We talked about affirmations, meditations, writing, visualization. We just had one. You should have a pad and paper on the table in front of you, and this is your opportunity to write. You, many of you in this room, are caregivers. Right now is an opportunity for you to write what it is that you need. I'll help you. I am a caregiver, and I need. Fill in the blank. I'll give you a few moments. Already, you all have had a moment or two to fill in the blank. I have, normally when I do these sessions, they're about 90 minutes. I have a little bit more time because I'm long-winded. But I wanted to give you all as much as I possibly could in the time that was allotted, and give you all an opportunity to go deeper. We have just a few minutes, and if anybody, you have an option. Continue to write, after you leave here. This is a door opening. But if anybody would like to share, I am a caregiver and I just want to take a few moments and that you share if you would like to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you want to, I want to make that available to you. Okay. All right, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Well, listen, thank you all. I wanted to, if you want to get in touch with me, that is, you can join my mailing list, my book, Leaving Larger Stories of a Food Addict. Also, I have created a Nourish the Nurturer guidebook that includes tips for caregivers, which you can download and purchase. And finally, this last picture, that's my friend. That's when she was in the hospital back in 2020. And I want to let you all know that she's in Canada right now. I don't know what she's doing, but I'm sure that there's going to be some story when she gets back. But and I'm happy, happy to know that she's traipsing around Canada, cane and all. All right, y'all. Thank you so much.